folks out there having a good time along that. Are we hanging them? No, but to hang one of the guys that made it. And the same thing with Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, what most people don't know, was when his wife died, he had to promise her that he would never marry again.
Mm-hmm.
That is one hell of a promise. Now, was he going to stay celibate? No, he wasn't going to stay celibate. He was going to enjoy his relationship with Sally Hemings, a black woman whom he loved.
Yeah.
They loved one another.
Well,
now, he is crucified for that among certain fundamentalists.
Yeah.
And yet, when we take a look at certain individuals today that profess to be God-driven or God-centered and the kind of things that they do, my Lord, it's kind of sad to hang on, because what is wrong with people that have to focus on the one mistake that people make? That's, to me, it's very unchristian. Jesus Christ would have never, ever, ever done that. Jesus Christ made sure that he worked with the poor, the sick, those who were prostitutes. He worked with everybody. He elevated their consciousness. Now, persons that ask questions like, hey, well, my God, he was actually out there having sex. I'm not, he's a Satanistic person. That's ridiculous.
Well, listen, now, in my fundamentalist tendencies, I'm one to believe that his wife, after she died, came back to haunt him.
Well, maybe she should have. What's wrong with that? I mean, if she wanted to haunt him for what he did, okay, but I'm sure he had agreements with her the same way that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton had their agreements. You know, she had her friends.
He can do anybody he wants to. He gets to do anybody he wants to, and as long as she stays in power. Is that it, or what?
No. And she could do the same.
Oh, like
she had boyfriends.
Oh, okay.
Ron Brown was her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
The guy that was murdered on the airplane, and he was going to spill the beans on the Clinton. You know, there were 58 murders surrounding the Clinton administration, which the major media makes fun of.
Yeah, but what about Hillary and Janet Reno? Didn't they have a thing going?
Janet Reno had a lot of things going with young girls.
Whoa, I knew it.
Well,
that.
You know, Janet Reno was a real piece of work.
Yeah,
and she, that's how
if women could be a Catholic priest, she is one, right?
Well, I doubt that very much. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh,
sorry, I missed that one there. That's a good one. But the thing is that I'm certain you've researched Waco, right?
Yeah. Oh,
you know what really happened. These individuals did not do the kind of things we said they were doing, or believed, or told we were doing by Reno.
Right.
We saw these individuals being destroyed by our government. And it wasn't just Waco. There was one, Ruby Ridge. You know what happened, the killing of the family, having 1,000 of our soldiers out there shooting and killing babies. This is a fact. You know this is a fact.
Yes.
Now, what does this mean? Why would our government do that? Why especially did a Democratic president allow this to happen? And no doubt, Reno was in charge there, and Hillary was supporting her.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, that changed my entire view on Hillary right there.
Yeah.
I think that was what she did was worse than Benjamin Franklin had going to bed with young ladies.
Well, you know, I always wondered that the sharpshooter that shot Randy Weaver's wife between the eyes, I always wondered, does that guy have nightmares? You know?
I hope he does.
I kind of hope he does, yeah.
I hope he does, because, but you know, see, Daniel, you know all of these things. You've been in the media, and you know how this is totally not discussed. It's not disgustable. It's not that you can't do this in the major media. Can you?
No,
you
can't.
No, you can't.
No,
you can't. You open your mouth, you're going to get fired.
Yeah.
No one on the New York Times is going to be able to break that story and talk about it seriously, because what they did was they slandered in Waco, they slandered those people first.
Yeah.
There wasn't these kind of relationships that they said they were in. They never, and then they set them on fire after they used tanks to go after them.
Yeah.
Now, come on. What were they afraid of?
Well, listen now. See, I've been making the comparison because that Texas Child Protection Services tried to, they were after the Branch Davidians for some time, and until some mysterious caller called up and said they had weapons because they couldn't prove any of the other allegations that were trumped up. So they went in there with guns blazing, saying somebody called and said they had weapons somewhere there, which were never found. But those same Child Protective Services is involved with this a sect of Mormonism out there with the compound there that was well, and you know, and of course I'm not for that, but you mentioned slander. Well, that whole group was slandered as everyone in there was pedophiles of some sort.
That's
and
right.
you know, you may have a couple guys in there, I guess. I'm not sure, but they were demonized to the point.
Right.
The same kind of thing.
Well, Daniel, that's the reason why your show is called The Edge Radio. Obviously, you've been paying attention to this, and you're decades ahead of most other people within the media who are afraid to talk about this. You know that, don't you?
Well, sure.
You know that they're afraid to talk about it.
I know.
They're afraid of losing their jobs if they do. That really is terribly unfortunate because I would have loved to have seen, and it should have happened, those who were very conservative check out what really was going on in this regards to the Branch Davidians, and what really was going on in regards to not just Waco but Ruby Ridge. That was stuff.
Well, they were found. The government actually was found guilty in that case, and they had to pay millions to Randy and his remaining family there. And I believe the judge said he'd never seen so much trumped-up evidence ever in any court case. The government was making stuff up to make this guy look like a bad guy.
You're right. They made it up, but you know, it should be embarrassing to the major media that they never really told that story. The reason also, why didn't they tell, why were photographs taken at the World Trade Center? Why were all those photographs taken and videotapes taken and not ever given back? Why were the people told that if they accepted money from New York and the federal government that they could no longer talk about this? What were they afraid of?
Right.
Something was going on we don't really know about.
Right.
Who made lots of money off of this? We know from certain sources that some of the individuals, they know the names of individuals that made $50, $60 million, and they were they were employed at that time in the CIA.
Yeah. Well, Silverstein made billions on that insurance.
Yes. And most
I
Americans don't realize that he was not doing well. The World Trade Center was not sold out. He was losing money. Now, why wasn't that discussed?
Right, you know, I don't know, Doctor, if you caught it, but I caught a couple blurbs on national media saying that they don't believe that people should talk about 9/11 because now there's some sort of syndrome that children are having. It's too dramatic. It's too upsetting. So don't even talk about 9/11 now. I don't know if you've caught that.
I mean, do you really believe that?
No.
That's true? I mean, this is one of those trumped up situations in which, and that's the reason why a show like you're having tonight is enormously important, that you have all the time, because these things really need to be discussed. Our government, who is now moved and have been moving in the direction of a monarchy, once again, the same pattern that happened in the 1790s when the great challenge of the fundamentalists up there in Massachusetts kind of came out and supported a couple of books that later on were proven totally fraudulent, and to try to get Jefferson out, literally, attempting to destroy him and kill off democracy, because they really did think, this particular group called the Federalists really believed that the people in the street should not have the kind of power that those who were considered to be gentlemen have. There's no two ways about it, and you know, Alexander Hamilton was one of them. Alexander Hamilton really did believe that the federal government should be in control, literally, of and the bankers about everything. And who opposed him? One man, Thomas Jefferson, and Jefferson really won. He saved our republic.